Manandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So last night I didn't sleep. Somehow I couldn't sleep, so I got up and I started writing. So no sleep, but I have something that I'd like to share. To make it a little bit more comprehensible, you'll be hearing focused on two images. One is the idea of a bird gets to a certain age and the bird has to leave the nest and fly on its own little wings. And the other is this idea of movement, the different ramifications. It's stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, Marganti ate mukha padmanidais Chandaksu parnair dishayo vivikte Yasyaga marshoda saridvaraya Padam padam tirtha padak prapanaha. Translation: the lotus feet of the Lord are by themselves the shelter of all places of pilgrimage. The great clear-minded sages, carried by the wings of the Vedas, always search after the nest of your lotus-like face. Some of them surrender to your lotus feet at every step by taking shelter of the best of rivers, the Ganges, which can deliver one from all sinful reaction. This and a little bit of the next verse I'll cite of the demigods praying to Lord Vishnu. The word nidai, or nest, is glossed in the word for word as, quote, by those who have taken shelter of such a lotus flower, the mukha padma, or the lotus flower of the Lord's face. In the next verse, the demigods state, Vrajemata tengri sarojapitam. We must therefore take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. It goes without saying that we can apply this divine instruction to the lotus feet of His Divine Grace, H.H.Bhakti Swami Prabhupada, ISKCON's founder, guide, and supreme preceptor. And in the previous verse, yes, we can also search out the shelter or, quote, nest of His lotus-like face, from which the words emanating from His lotus mouth are still purifying the three worlds, and especially those who take the tiny trouble to carefully assimilate and indeed bathe themselves in such auspicious sound vibrations. On this occasion of the 38th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's perfect disappearance, let us reflect a little on how his disappearance affected our ability to emulate the demigods in taking shelter of His feet by service and of His face and lotus mouth by hearing. During His physical presence, His action, His movements, and His interactions with us provided an unmistakable shelter day by day. But then, like young birds of different sizes, we were suddenly, some may say even violently, thrust out of this safe, sanctified, nest-like sanctuary and forced to fly with our own young wings, a little like the above-mentioned great clear-minded sages carried by the wings of the Vedas. We were ejected, as it were, by your final Leela of Vapu in this world, your triumphant disappearance pastimes. Violently cast out of the nest? Well, so as not to exaggerate, we were given clear warnings of imminent separation from your physical external presence. First of all, your physical state appeared to deteriorate to a shocking degree. And then there were your various statements making it clear that you would be departing soon. Nevertheless, no matter how close to leaving your body you appeared, still your so-called death was unthinkable, unimaginable, unreasonable, and even unacceptable. At least this applied to most of us, your total dependence. Pitiably, we might have easily appealed to you by repeating Queen Kunti's prayerful question to Lord Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.37, "O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today, though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us?" But as history's bell dolefully chimed, your departure suddenly jumped from some unspecified future moment ahead of us back into one specific unique instant forever behind us. We were weaned from our hoping against hope into a resigned acceptance of the fact, of the reality of your permanent physical absence. But more essentially, we were transferred from following your Vapu along with your Vani to, practically speaking, exclusive Vani. How could this be? What to do? How should we function? What to speak of manage without your present glance, your word, and your decisive yet exquisitely elegant and aristocratic actions and movements? Yes, your movement. This Hare Krishna movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, in a certain sense, your movement, as, for example, the movement of your hand to ring the big bell in Mayapur, making disciples jump ecstatically like anything, or even just the movement of your raising your eyebrow. But then there were your extra special movements, your actions for posterity, like your operation of the dictaphone, yourself being greatly moved by the words of the Lord, along with those of his great Mahajans and other great pure devotees in the line. Even the movement of your larynx, vibrating pure sound, resulting in the most wonderful Bhaktivedanta purports, was momentous. Your Vani allows us to push on this movement, transmitting, as it were, your movements onto others, one to another, and on to the next ones, who will in turn continue the mercy process, impelling others one after another like dominoes. But not exactly, as whereas dominoes cause one another to fall downward, these generations of disciples are causing and will continue to cause others to elevate upward, discover their higher selves in relation with all attractive Krishna, the original and supreme person. In other words, you funneled the pure messages and feelings of the greatest devotees into your venerable purports, whose cogency and conviction rest on your bhav. Quote, "My purports are my personal or devotional ecstasies." Even from outsiders' external point of view, your translation, commentaries, and publication of such a great opus of essential Vedic literature was recognized as an extraordinary feat. Even the Encyclopedia Britannica deemed it astonishing to the world. So let us take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. Although we are out of that protective nest once afforded by your Vapu presence, we are certainly and continuously sheltered by the sanctuary of your Vani presence, centered in your Bhaktivedanta purports. Let us thus become enthusiastic as you have enthused us. Let us become moved as you were moved to pass along the bhava of Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Katha. And let us thereby increase this transcendental movement which you named the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which was founded and instructed by your divine grace. You plainly declared, "I shall live forever in my books." I will conclude with a suggestion that this commemoration of your divine disappearance needn't be an unhappy occasion. We need not lament thinking that it marks a decrease of your association, nor should we wrongly feel in any way removed or distanced from the sanctuary of your lotus feet. Let us rather consider your physical departure as our own transition from Vapu plus Vani to more intense and exclusive Vani, a coming of age for us, so to speak, when in November of 1977, and today as well, we are moved to take increased shelter of your divine grace through mature hearing, reading and serious study, along with profuse distribution of your glorious books. Then everything will be all right, not only in ISKCON, but also throughout the entire world. Your most unworthy disciple, Bhakti Prabhupada-vrata Damodara Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.